is a challenging career choice. I think that anyone that attempts to do it or does it knows that. I think we're all still, no matter how successful we are, still attempting to do it. It feels like every day is pushing that rock up the hill.
There's this great quote by Teddy Roosevelt: "For those who take the risk, go out in the arena." You've already won. You're playing.
I try to make mistakes. I think the mistakes are great. I think the mistakes are
documentary about
human.
this specific surfing culture and this specific person that was able to combine his creativity and passion for surfing into a folkloric cultural item.
This is the artist, illustrator, and typesetter behind so many iconic images spanning back for decades, starting in early surf culture. And it was just cool to hear interviews from his friends and admirers and learn a bit about him. And again, see the images that he's responsible for. And it's just worth checking out if you've got a set of eyes. There's lots to look at here. Absolutely great.
I really enjoyed watching this. I thought it was really cool. I am completely guilty of not often thinking much beyond the covers of these albums that I see, and they become so iconic, but you don't always think of maybe the individual who created that work of art, or at least maybe I didn't. I was a bit ignorant to that. So I thought it was really incredible to watch this story and hear about this artist. I really loved the perspective that they shared of the courage that it takes to really pursue any kind of arts-based career. And I just thought it was a great tribute to somebody who's done a lot of important work.
I think it's a beautiful film, great cinematography, and I think John is quite a talented artist. And the more I watched, the more I felt the need to do what I love to do. So that was awesome.
The one thing I did love actually was the shots, the cinematography, the shots of the water, the waves. That was awesome to me. I was like, man, that was cool. I liked that. That was my favorite part of this. But I did learn some new stuff about that time period. And thank you. They did a good job telling the story.
Really informative about this this gentleman who I had no idea had created so many iconic pieces of posters. Or I mean, truly, they're considered artwork now. But just a lot of iconic images. I thought the film did a very good job of presenting a lot of those images very economically, so that we saw a lot of them, but it didn't seem frenetic or chaotic. The other thing that I really enjoyed was that all the interviews did not look like talking heads, so they were all in different locations. Some were close-up, some were far away, or whatever, and each of those interviews to me seemed to be as individual as the gentleman they were describing. So I really, really liked that aspect of it. This was a great piece of film that's very inspirational to any visual artist. Well done. I just really enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it very much. Thought this was sheer entertainment, but also it has a very intense nature of being informative. So I appreciated that. There was factual storytelling, but also you felt the vibe from these people, from the videos cut from the past, that it was this wild, rebellious, carefree, artistic sort of heart within all of them. It was also simple, effective, and again, those glimpses from the past were just enough to keep us intrigued while hearing the people in the present telling their story currently.
This film did a really good job of showcasing like not only somebody's influence, like not only art's influence in like a culture, but how one person can influence so many. I thought it was so cool, the different cuts that they used with like jumping from like interview to interview to so many different actual like images that he's created, and intercutting it all together then to kind of build to talking to him like himself, and that you really like laid the background and like laid the groundwork of how much respect this man has and how much like respect in the art world he has. And then you saw him talking and he's just like just talking about things that he loves and things that he got to experience himself and how he wanted to document it, and how, like, I thought it was really interesting way to kind of get to him telling a story of having everybody else kind of set the groundwork for it. So I thought that was super
I really liked the quotes at the beginning from the various people being interviewed. As an artist, I felt just immediately sort of inspired and uplifted, and even got a little bit emotional. I liked the style of how there was a narrative throughout, but it was built using a little clip here, a little clip there, and sort of pieced together. I always like to see that sort of puzzle work in a documentary. It was interesting when we finally heard from him, because it was all other people's perspectives up until the end, so that was a cool device as well. And then I liked the way that it sort of came full circle at the end with a nice little bow on top.
You get to see how this particular artist, John, just shaped so much of it with his images, and it's truly inspiring, and having so many talented artists just in it to be able to, give perspective and pay their respects, and it's just super interesting. It was really nice to be able to get a window into not only like John's world, but like also all of these artists and their focuses and philosophies and their workspaces.
I really appreciated such a great pastiche of creatives and professionals that are at the peak of their field to talk about such a prolific career of cool. And it was fast-paced, and I really wanted to know more about this artist.
Yeah, it's just, you can see that these people are true artists. They're so passionate about it, and I love how it eventually segued into, their admiration for John and his legacy and his body of work, and that's really cool to see.
I appreciate the testimonies that the artists have brought, because it creates the idea on how much John's heart had a big impact on theirs. I really like the choice of the music and the images, and their quality was impressive. For a millennial like me, taking a dip in the past, which I couldn't been able to leave, was an opportunity to know and to fall in love with a story that is far away from me, but I felt really close to it.